Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, Better Than Starting Manned. We have arrived at the Duna system. Somewhere in the distance is a little planet, a little red planet. I have no bloody idea where. But as you can see, we've crossed the threshold. Oh, it's way out there. And we need to plan a orbital burn for our first of two probes that have arrived here. So let's get this into an... Whoa. No. No. Alright, let's make this 100. No, negative 100. And then we'll go negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Negative 8. Periaps of 2 million. Let's go a little further out for now. 1 million should be plenty close enough for the moment. We'll grab our high distance temperature scan. And heck, we'll transmit that right now. Our first Duna science. Hold 24 science right there. Come on. Can you let me out of the map view now? We'll just put this out of the way down here. We got to make sure, we got to be careful with this because it can mess things up. Alright, our mark is in 4 hours. Let's see if we can rotate this with the engine. I have a sneaking hunch that this it's just not strong. Well, okay, actually it is. Barely. You can just barely see it moving. But one pulse of the RCS will do way more than that little mass driver will do. So ship number 2 is right here. Duna is going to swing around and pick it up shortly. But we'll have this thing in a stable orbit well before that time comes. It's going to be a distant stable orbit, but it is going to be a stable orbit. It's going to be another 6 days to get it in there, so we'll need to put Ike ship. So the first thing we're going to do is burn this thing into its million-click orbit. Which has actually got some issues because it's actually going to have encounters with Ike, so maybe we better just do a little more. Let's get ourselves into a close-ish orbit here. Maybe 100,000 or something. Whoop. Yeah, you see, that's what I was afraid of right there. That should do. 264,000. And then we'll burn down our periaps from there. We're almost to our mark, and then we will start the process of time warping towards... Really want to find this planet. So if that's our mark, where are you, Duna? Where are you? It's going to be out and upwards too. You'll have to let me know if you actually see it in this panning shot I'm doing right here, because I honestly cannot tell. Oh, there it is! There it is! Ha! There's Duna! Hello, Duna! We're a bloody long ways away, and you still look pretty huge. 43 million meters. Okay. Alright. So that'll do for now. Let's quick save again. Always quick save. Because I've determined that things just go wrong, and the game crashes, and... I just don't have the time to mess around with things going horrifically wrong on me. 3, 2, 1. I don't even know how long this is going to take, but probably a few minutes at least. And we're almost at the perfect place to do it, too, with our marker being right over the retrograde like that. It's probably going to take about 3 minutes to pull this off. Alright, we're close. Let's just quick save and then warp our way the rest of the way as close as we can. 5, 4, 3, 2... Actually, a little less than I had originally anticipated. Okay, hold on. Okay. Stabilization systems online. Marker on. Alright, and we are heading into orbit around Duna with probe number 1. Half a tank of gas still left. Less than half of that will be used to get this into orbit. And that's all I really need. It just needs to get into orbit and then into a low orbit. Those are the two things I need to accomplish. And I do believe that is going to be absolutely possible with the fuel I currently have. In fact, if I went low enough, there's this thing I could do an aerobraking pass. Although with the solar panels, that might be risky. I'm going to keep it in a high orbit for now, and we'll see how much fuel we have left after we do this. We might just have to set up an aerobraking pass later. Basically, aerobraking would mean putting this thing into a... I do need to put it into a polar orbit, don't I? If I'm going to have any hope of this being a useful mission, I'm going to have to adjust that a little. I wonder if I can adjust that now. Probably not efficiently, no. We're going to be in a pretty steep orbit as it is. We'll see if there's anything we miss. And take it from there. Okay. Coming along quite nice. Quite nicely indeed. So yeah, it's going to take 6 days for us to swing into the planet here. Now, we still don't even have a functional periapse on this thing, which is amazing. We're still waiting for this to curl around. Well, at least it's the time to escape is increasing rapidly. I know I haven't shrunk this thing down yet. It gives you something to look at. We're up to a day before we get away from the planet, and it's going to start curling around nicely in a moment. I suppose if we miss one gravity scan, it won't be the end of the world, but I'd rather not miss, you know, out on anything if I can avoid it. Okay, 120 meters per second to go, and dropping. Alright, and coming down. Here we go. I suppose I could leave it in a wide... yeah, there's no reason to. Bring it in nice and tight. 2, 1... Word of the day is close enough. Okay. Ship number 1 into orbit. How steep of an orbit? Possibly steep enough. Nope, it's not going over the poles quite. Might have to twist it a little, but we're in a nice eccentric orbit, which is good, because that means we're already 3/4 of the way to a polar orbit. Okay, RCS off. SAS off. Are we on a stable power supply? We are. Which means we can go find our other ship. Where are you? Right here. Let's have a look. The Ike probe. Time to put the Ike probe into orbit as well. And that is going to happen. It is going to happen still, right? Yep. It's still quite a few days away, though. Now, are we getting power? We are just not quite stable. That's okay. Tons of RCS left. Tons of SAS. Yeah. Tons of RCS left. Alright, cool. Well, just time warp build. Okay, so let's see. So it's 4 days to that, and it's going to take 6 days. Well, let's just Duna probe. Come on. I want to switch to my Duna probe. No. Duna probe? There you are. I might have to... Well, hopefully nothing bad comes of this. You know, I never did check how long it was going to take this thing to get into orbit. I might have to go to the Space Center to get to it. No, I'm sure I've got time. So I actually overshot a little on this one. Interesting. But we're coming in for a much, much lower periapse, I believe, than this one did. Yeah, so if my calculations were correct, it was only going to take... Yeah, it's still a long ways out, isn't it? Yeah, it's still 3/4 of the way. It's only 1/4 of the way around to the planet itself. Which is right on the nose. 2 hours, 50 minutes, counting. Perfect, lots of time. 10 minutes. Just got to make sure we don't get a glitch. 19, okay, there we go. Oh, we got a little closer due to the glitchiness. Okay. And it's about -800. Nope, that's way more than we need. Periapps. Now the hard part here is we need actually to get a encounter with Ike like that, because this thing needs to stop at Ike. So how close to Ike can we get? Pretty darn close if I'm careful. In fact, that encounter with Ike is actually bleeding off. Oh. I could have saved myself a lot of energy just by doing a gravitational pass on Ike. That would swing me into a nice tight orbit. Okay. Too bad I didn't manage to pull that off with... Well, I might still pull that off with this thing if I tweak it a little. Let's just have a look. Maybe we can do a minor course adjustment and actually have a small Ike encounter that will push this thing into a more effective orbit. Let's see. Because I was pretty close to having one, I believe. Let's see. I may have missed my opportunity, yeah. Or at least this isn't the one I need. Maybe I need radial? Nope. Might be out of luck on that front. No. Okay, no, we've missed our opportunity, at least on this pass. Might be able to do it on the next pass from here, though. I might be able to tweak my burn a little. Alright, well that's okay. That's cool, though. Look at how much energy I'm going to save with this. Come on. I want to switch to the other ship in the area. Alright, fine. I'll go to the Space Center, and I will switch back the hard way. Fine. But hey, that's interesting news that a close encounter with the moon makes sense, actually. So what we've gotten is a gravity-assisted deceleration. Yeah, actually, if we play our cards right, we'll... Ike Probe Mark 1 or Mark 2. Yeah, if we play our cards right on this, we could actually save ourselves an immense amount of fuel because we're not going to have to do use as much power on our deceleration burn. So this would put us into an orbit around Duna. That's actually not too high, but it will be. But since I want this one to actually orbit Ike, well, we'll see. We'll see. Important thing right now is let's get it oriented. There's 7 hours until burn time. That is a rather interesting effect, though. I hadn't even thought of that. So yes, moon-assisted deceleration. That's got some points over, other than the fact that it's going to wind us up in a fairly generic orbit, which actually we don't want. We want to be in a nice polar orbit around Ike, which is what this is going to be when all is said and done. Whoa, slow down. Okay, another quick save, just to give us time to do other maneuvering here, if needed. Or, you know, save me this. To save me from that, right there. That right there, that is a thing that I hate doing. But every once in a while, you hit the accelerate button one too many times, and away it goes. 3, and it took us about 2 minutes to do this. So we'll burn at the T-minus 1 minute and 30 second mark. Alright, a little RCS to get ourselves oriented right. Over to the mark guy. And SAS on. Time warp, full throttle. Didn't want to time warp. There we are. Okay. And once again, putting the ship into orbit, and this one is going to wind up in orbit around Ike in what? We've got an encounter in 6 days, which is long after that other ship is going to have something happen. So we'll just have to deal with the fact that the other ship is going to do not a perfect efficiency entry. We'll live. They're actually, I think they're in retro orbits to one another, just because of the directions we came in from, which is very interesting. I might have actually overshot this one a little, which is unfortunate. Well, one of them overshot. I don't know which one, but one of them is definitely not in an optimal arrival stance. Okay. We're just gonna let this thing go. Only a minute to go. Minute and change. Look at the waviness of the sun orbit here. It's going all sorts of crazy on us. It's probably got something to do with the gravity tweaks that are happening as we get closer and closer to Duna. Not escaping Duna. That number, that orbit there is going to just disappear shortly. Because we're at a day till escape and dropping. And we're spinning around. It's curling, it's curling. We're going rapidly up to infinite time before escape from Duna. Why would we want to escape Duna? We're going to land. But not on Duna, on Duna's moon Ike. With this ship. It's going to be quite a project, getting both of these guys into clean orbits. And there's our orbit. And 8 seconds to go. Slow down, slow down. Slow down. Okay, here it comes. Here it comes. There we are. That will do. Okay, and that's a slingshot. Look at that. So if I go a little further... That's interesting. So that's actually a slingshot orbit right now. It's not slinging us into an actual orbit. It's slinging us... Yeah, you see, look at that. Isn't that interesting? Okay. So it goes from being a slingshot around to being a deceleration. All about the it's all about the trajectory when you depart, I think. Neat. Neato. Okay. All right, so we've got 6 days until that. You have how long? For you, you've got 1 day. So we're already 3/4 of the way there. So our next trick is going to be dropping our orbit down to a usable height for this ship. And maybe get you facing the sun a little. One nice big pulse of RCS to get you rotating. And there's Duna. Batteries, recharge, go! And the good news is that there are enough solar panels to recharge the batteries. A very critical feature of an orbiter around a distant planet. Not by much, but enough. I think it's enough to even hit a stable recharge as we orbit the planet. At least I sure hope so. Okay, so we need to set a node now. So at the periaps, we need to pull this down. See how much it's going to take. 60. Oh, not much at all. It's not even going to take... ApoAps. Yeah, okay. We'll do 300. That's starting to get pretty expensive, and also I note that we are not in a polar enough orbit. Is there anything we can do about that here? That's a lot of delta V to pull that off, and that's probably not the place to be doing it. One orbit, one maneuver at a time. I guess if we don't get the pull, that's not the end of the world. It's just a little annoying is all. So the burn time for the phase change will be when it's at the equator. If I recall correctly, that's the most efficient time to do that. So we'll do that when we are in a more circular orbit here. 230, 271, it's a little better. Although maybe we better get ourselves into a tighter orbit. 80... I don't know exactly what atmospheric breach is, but 80,000 sounds like a good number for this. In one day. Let's just try and get this closer to the... there we are. That's about as close as we want to be. Okay, let's... we'll do our rotation at the last minute. We're going to quick save again. And see how much of this we can get done in this episode. Ooh, Aurora's on Duna. Okay. There's Ike. Here we come. That's a very, very fast orbit on that thing. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? Speedy little planet you are. 1 hour to go. And it's going to be less than half the amount of time the last one. So we're going to want to burn at about T-minus 30 seconds. So let's get this orbit narrowed down a little. RCS on. A little rotation. Yeah, just got to get this thing in a polar orbit next. Or more polar. The more science we can send home, the better. That's what I always say. We'll see if how much of this planet we can get. So, looking good though. Looking very, very good. And a polar orbit will eventually get the entire planet if we're patient. Which we can afford to be. Alright. RCS off. Hold on. There we are. Let's go. 30. So T-minus. Quick save again. There we go. Okay. Whoa, yeah, gotta be careful how fast we go in. That's pretty fast. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One minute to go. Closer and closer to that actual periapse point there. There. Full throttle for a, yeah, less than a minute burn. Come on, keep you steady. Keep her steady. Alright, so we need to get this orbit circularized. And then we can figure out the next steps. Because we can't afford to try and get into a polar orbit if we don't have enough fuel to get us into a low enough orbit to do our secondary science experiments. Fuel needs to go to that first and foremost. I mean, granted, we have a crazy amount of RCS left, so we might be able to use some of that. 9. Okay. There we are. 82. Done. Back towards... Now, how far does this one have to go still? This one, quite a long way. So we can do some work on this ship for the rest of this episode and get it organized before we do anything else. because with 2 ships in the neighborhood, we can do some stuff with battery charging that will be very useful. So let's see what we got happening here. I don't know exactly how close it has to be, so we're going to find out if 82 is low enough or if we have to take it a little lower still. Which will be done when we reach the new periaps down here. Yeah, we're in a pretty steep orbit already. It might be doable if I play my cards right. Let's see. How low is that now? 175. We at least need it circularized at... Well, that's 70. Pretty sure it's got a lower atmosphere than Kerbal, so we just need to make sure we cross over into the low space context. Hey, there it is, right there. Okay. So let's see what we got here. We'll skip the surface imaging for now, because we need to get our... We will transmit that. And gone. We will get our temperature scan and get that gone as well. There it goes. I know, a little clipping. I'm not entirely thrilled with that, but that's okay. And our first gravity scan, Highlands. And let's transmit that as well. And yeah, as I say, we'll do the surface imaging is low priority right now. We're going to save it for a little later. In fact, it's not even supposed to be on the list here, but... Okay, so... 82 is plenty low enough, so we can actually add a couple back on here. Yeah, that should do. And that'll be about a 30-second burn right there. And hopefully as we... Oh yeah, here we go. New gravity scan. That's what we're looking for. Midlands, molten surface of Duna. Lowest in a big friggin' canyon. Alright, here goes number 3. Did I disable the battery on here? I did not. So let's do that. We'll say just use the battery from these 2 right here for now. Okay. We're almost to our... Oh, another one. Where are we now? We are over Duna's lowlands. Midlands, lowlands, and highlands, just like every other planet, apparently. Okay, swing her around. Let's see how much more time we have on the wider or on the Ike ship. Lots and lots of time. Yeah, it's still got a long ways to go. Good, good. 5 minutes to go until our burn. We'll pull the apoaps down, and then this thing will be pretty much good to go, except for a phase angle change. An inclination change, thank you. Thank you, brain, for remembering the terminology that David took so much time to teach me. I do try to remember. It's a lot to remember, but I do try. Okay. And in a few more moments, with less than a minute to go, we will fire the engines. Probably 30 seconds. T-minus 30 should be good. And 2, 1, fire. Yeah. Oh yeah, plenty of time. Not a lot of fuel left for this phase change, but it should be okay. Oh, crap, 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 crap. I don't know what I just did there, but I'm sure it's not good. Okay, we'll just bring that the rest of the way down. Gently, gently. There we go. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, we don't want to mess around anymore with that, because our next maneuver, our last maneuver on here, is going to be somehow a phase angle change or an inclination change. Alright, so that's definitely have to go negative. And as inclined as we can go. And we're going to need to drop our... Hopefully that's going to be enough. We need to not gain too much. This is going to be expensive, holy smokes. I guess as much as we can get done, we will do this last. This will be our last maneuver on this. Hopefully that will get us high enough to get over the pole. You guys let me know. I'm not going to do this burn today. I'll definitely wait on that. We're just going to do a little more time charging. I guess in a pinch I can use some RCS fuel to do the inclination change as well. But there we go. There's our Duna orbiter in place and ready to rumble. I will do a little bit of orbiting here, and in fact we'll just do that quick before we call it an episode today. See how much more science we can get at this angle. We're just waiting to see. Oh yeah, we're below 100,000, so we don't get the fast time warp, which is too bad. I mean, we have tons and tons of... I really hope we're getting a net gain of battery power on this thing. So we bottom out at 960. Alright, it doesn't look like we're going to hit any other biomes on this angle, so we're definitely going to have to steepen this up a little, though there might be a few other biomes that I'm, uncommon biomes. I'll do my research before the next episode. But, our priority now that this is charging and everything, our next project is getting the same accomplishment with our Ike lander. The Ike probe will be our next episode. But as I say, that's the next episode, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.